What's going on, guys? Rizzle from Rizzle Vapes here. And today's video was supposed to be a RDA first look at an RDA. I recorded that footage and it was severely not the way that I wanted it. So instead, today we are going to be I'm going to be doing a video today where I basically just say my story, I suppose you would call it. My why I vape, where I came from smoking wise, and how I transitioned, and how I feel now, and that kind of stuff. So we'll just jump right into it here. Basically, I was a victim of smoking for 8 years. 8 years of my life. Come on now. I smoked for 8 years, and in those 8 years, I experienced some pretty nasty things. About 4 years in, and about 4 years ago, I developed some stomach issues. I would go to bed every night feeling sick to my stomach, and that lasted until recently. The doctors could never figure out what was wrong. They never knew what it was, and my first thought was me being a smoker was a hypocrite. I was terrified of cancer, and I just really was fearing for the worst, that it was stomach cancer or something, and I wouldn't think that cigarettes had ever done it to me. And so for about 4 years we were trying to figure out what this was and fight it, and we couldn't. We didn't know what it was. Eventually the doctors came out and were like, hey, we think it's acid reflux. Take these pills every day and that should help. It didn't. Then they thought, oh, maybe it's IBS, some stomach condition. Take these pills every day and you should feel better. It didn't work. So there was that, and it turned out that the issues were most likely attributed to smoking. I still kind of feel sick every once in a while at night, but it is severely dulled since I've quit and picked up vaping, and I feel so much better, not just in that aspect, but in every aspect of the situation. Everything is just so much better. Another thing that cigarettes claimed from me are my teeth. My top teeth. And I'm not afraid to show it. Because I feel like if I would have found this sooner, about 3 years sooner, 2-3 years sooner, I would probably still have my teeth. I have my bottoms, but all my top had to be surgically removed because as a kid I did have a enamel deficiency. My teeth didn't have enamel on them, so I had to be really careful and take really good care of my teeth. And then when I started smoking, it started getting harder for me to do that. I mean, I'd still brush 2-3 times a day, but because I didn't have enamel and it's cigarettes and they make your teeth yellow, they began to stain and get darker and darker, and eventually they all just got rotten, basically. So there were those two things that I at the time thought were I was a victim of smoking, and I was. And one day I was on Facebook, and keep in mind that a smoker never wants to admit that anything is because of their cigarettes, because they love them so much. And I did. My teeth aren't because of my cigarette. My stomach isn't because of my tobacco. It was. In reality, it was. And it took me a while to realize that, but I finally figured it out. And how I actually transitioned, 8 years, pack-a-day smoker. And how I actually transitioned was I was on Facebook one day, and a buddy of mine posted up a recent article, a recent study from Big Tobacco. I mean, it was from like the UK US tobacco group or company or something, and basically it found out that a certain product of vape product was basically as harmful as breathing air. Now we can venture to guess that that's probably not the extent. There probably is something that will affect your health, though it would be on a much lower scale and very minuscule to what cigarettes can do. There are no carcinogens in here, and the only reports of any carcinogens ever found were when you dry burn your cotton at a high voltage, it releases formaldehyde. There's also diacetyl or diacetyl, however you want to say it's pronounced, diacetyl, but there was also that in a bunch of juice, and now I try to make sure that I buy juice that is 100% diacetyl free, because while I understand that it's not 100% safe, it's probably, it's probably not even 95%. They claim it's 95% safe, and I want to believe that. It might not be, but for now, I'm okay with that. But it might not be, It might not be. One thing that I do know, though, is that the gum, the medicine, the quit line, all that shit doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. Tried it. I tried to quit 3 times prior to this, and this was the one time that I was able to do it. After I saw this article, I went outside and I smoked a cigarette, and I was thinking to myself, like, I could try it. Why not at least try it? It'll be expensive right in the beginning, but then after that, yeah, it'd save me money in the long run, and it's evidently safer for you. Not safer, less harmful for you. And so I went outside and I smoked a cigarette, and I was thinking about it, and I went to the vape shop. I picked up my first mod, the knee box, the Kangertech knee box. It's a pretty good starter mod. It leaks like a bitch. But I liked it. And as soon as I picked it up, as soon as I brought it home, that cigarette that I had before I went to the vape shop was the last cigarette I have had. And it has been a month. 1 month for me, cigarette free. And it's amazing. It's the craziest thing ever. People will tell you that these are just as bad for you as cigarettes, and there's no proof behind that. I'm actually guilty of this. I have all these studies that I have saved on my computer that when somebody tries to give me a hard time, I can kind of link them to. And somebody on my friends list on Facebook the other day was talking about wanting to quit smoking. He wanted to pay $150 to go to a seminar on how to quit smoking. And I was like, are you fucking stupid, dude? That doesn't work. Try vaping. Try it. And he was like, oh, I did. I bought this $200 mod. And I was like, what the fuck mod were you buying? So it's a tube style mechanical mod or whatever, and one of the really good ones. And I was like, it was an Aspire. And I was like, first of all, that's not a $200 device at all. Even a lot of the DNA 200 devices aren't even $200. They're like in the $150 to $200 range. But this was a cylinder regulated mod, I'm pretty sure. It might have been unregulated. I'm not sure. It was an Aspire brand though. And it was like a $40, $50 mod. And I was like, well, maybe that won't work because it was a mouth to lung, and that didn't work for me. I tried vaping before. I tried vaping a year ago and it didn't work. And I tried it with the pen style Egos that did the mouth to lung, and it just wasn't enough. I like to take in big deep drags and then let it plume, man. That helped me. That is what helped me. Even the Kangertech produced great clouds, great vapor production, and seeing that was really what was like, okay, I like this. I like this. And yeah, so I was telling him that, and somebody came on the status and was like, it's just as bad, just quit. And I was like, well, it's actually not just as bad, and here's all these studies. And he was like, he said something about, I'm not, and this isn't an argument, I'm just stating facts, and you know, you're a slave to your addiction, you're no different than a meth head or a crack addict. And it really pissed me off to the point where I had corrected him on his grammar and was attacking him as a person and attacking his character because I was mad. And I think that's one thing that we as a vape community need to not do. We need to try to educate people instead of just attacking their character because they've been led to believe that it's so bad by the FDA and big pharma and big tobacco, and I feel bad about it. But at the same time, it leads me to believe and know that I'm passionate about vaping, and vaping has saved my life. So yeah, after I picked it up a month ago, I haven't smoked a cigarette since. I feel great. The doctor, that's one thing that I left out of that whole Facebook thing. My doctor, right? We took a blood test, and my blood oxygen level is back to normal. My carbon monoxide levels in my blood are about that of a non-smoker. Fucking awesome. I can smell again. And I said that in my truth about vaping video too, I think. And I mean, just driving and being able to smell Burger King when you drive by. Have you ever smelled Burger King? Holy shit, dude. Holy shit, it smells so good. Or cigarettes just smell so fucking bad. And that kind of, like, when I walk by somebody that's smoking, even if they're 30 feet away and I can smell it, and I'm just like, holy shit, is that what I smelled like for 8 years? That's what I was doing for 8 years? Fucking crazy, dude. They smell like shit. Straight up shit. It's terrible. My taste is back. I can taste shit again. I can taste food. I can taste French fries without dunking them, just massively overdoing the ketchup and chicken, like with minimal hot sauce. Like, I love buffalo chicken. It's my favorite food of all time. I don't need to douse it and drown it in buffalo sauce anymore, man. It's amazing. Vaping has completely changed the way that I've been living my life for 8 years. And it changed it for the better. I can go out and walk and not get winded. Plus, the community's pretty great too. Everybody's genuinely pretty nice, and we get a bad rep, I think. Smokers attack us because they think that we just want to look cool, which I don't want to look cool, man. I just don't. I'm just sick of knowing that I'm killing myself and trying to slow it down a little bit. Everybody's gonna die. Everything's bad for you. Everything. Soda, the food we eat, the air we breathe. It's all bad for you, man. This is just way less bad for you than the cigarettes, and that is why I switched. That is why I switched. Not just for me, but for those around me. And I feel so much better, man. I feel so much better. So, yeah, guys. I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to throw it up the way that it is. There's going to be no jump cuts or anything. So if you like the video, go ahead and click like. Hit that like button. Smack the shit out of it. Comment down below. Tell me why you switched from smoking to vaping, or why you picked vaping up. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, and I will see you in the next one.